In the vastness of nature, we can say that the building skills of animals often reach impressive levels. And among all the builder animals that exist in our world, birds can be defined as the true masters of this technique. After all, using only their beaks and feet, they are capable of creating truly fantastic structures, ranging from tiny designs to complex architectural constructions that are not only visually impressive, but also reveal clever strategies to face environmental challenges. And it's with this in mind that we've put together a list of some of the best constructions made by these animals to present in today's video. So stay tuned and get ready to discover some of the most amazing and incredible nests built by birds in nature. Cactus wren. And we're starting off with a bird known for building a truly fantastic nest and using an impressive construction strategy to ensure its protection. We're talking about the cactus wren, a bird found in the arid regions of Mexico and the southwestern United States, notable for its plumage that blends shades of brown, white, and black, providing it with effective camouflage in the environments it inhabits. But beyond that, another striking characteristic of this bird is its nest, which is usually built among thorny cacti, allowing the bird to benefit from the natural protection offered by these plants against predators. The cactus wren's nest has an elongated shape similar to a football and is made with grasses, twigs, and plant fibers. It features a side entrance that helps protect the eggs and chicks. And the most interesting part of all is that this structure not only shields them from predators, but also offers thermal insulation, an essential feature for surviving the extreme temperatures of the places where they live. BAYA weaver. The BAYA weaver is a fascinating bird, famous for its extraordinary nest-building skills. Found mainly in South and Southeast Asia, these birds build their nests using long strips of grasses, palm leaves, and other plant fibers, which they skillfully weave together to form a pouch-like structure. The nest is usually suspended on the end of a tree branch, often over water, to protect it from predators, and the entrance to the nest faces downwards, which helps prevent intruders and rainwater from entering. The process of building this nest is incredibly meticulous and involves several stages. First, the male collects the materials and begins to weave the basic structure of the nest, working tirelessly, often for several weeks, to ensure that the nest is sturdy and comfortable. And the reason why the male is so careful and dedicated in the process of building this nest involves a very simple reason. It will serve to impress the females, so that if any female approves of the nest, she accepts the male as her partner, and then the couple continues to improve the nest together. These nests of the BAYA weaver are not only functional, but also aesthetically pleasing, with an interesting and eye-catching shape that makes them one of the most impressive constructions, not only among birds, but also among all of nature's building animals. APOSTLEBIRD. Native to Australia, the apostlebird is a unique species, known for its highly social behavior and for living in tightly bonded family groups, a trait that inspired its popular name, since these birds usually move in flocks of around 12 individuals, resembling the group of 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. But beyond that, another remarkable characteristic of the apostlebird is its cooperative breeding and parental care, as these birds work together to build the nest, feed the chicks, and defend the territory. The nest is a well-crafted structure made of mud and plant material, shaped like a deep bowl, and is usually placed in trees or shrubs, often protected by dense foliage to keep predators away. Once built, this nest shows impressive durability, since the mud hardens as it dries, making the structure solid enough to be reused for several years. This is especially important because these birds need to find wet areas to collect the mud, an essential resource for nest construction, or wait for rain in their region. So, in cases when mud isn't available, groups of these birds often return to the same location to reuse their old nest instead of building a new one. Common TAILORBIRD. Now, let's talk about a bird that builds a nest, which can simply be described as a masterpiece of natural engineering. We're talking about the common TAILORBIRD, a small bird found in South and Southeast Asia, known for its impressive ability to build nests by sewing leaves together, a technique that is not only fascinating to observe, but also provides excellent camouflage for the bird's eggs and chicks, since the nest often becomes almost invisible among dense vegetation. The female, most often working alone but sometimes with help from the male, selects a large leaf or a set of flexible leaves and then uses her sharp beak to pierce their edges. Next, she uses plant fibers and spider silk to stitch the edges together, forming a kind of pouch that will serve as a shelter for the eggs. Later, the inside of the structure is filled with feathers and other soft materials to ensure greater comfort for the eggs and chicks. VOGELKOP bowerbird. Found mainly in the tropical forests of New Guinea, the VOGELKOP bowerbird is a bird with relatively discreet plumage, in shades of brown, and without the vibrant colors seen in many other bird species. Thanks to this simple, unadorned plumage, it remains relatively safe from human pursuit and natural predators, which is a good thing, but this lack of colorful feathers also means that males need to put in extra effort when it comes to attracting females. And that's where the bird's incredible constructions come into play. That's because the males of this species build elaborate structures made from twigs, moss, and other plant materials, creating a kind of hut with a conical shape that can stand over a meter tall, often mistakenly referred to as a nest. But in reality, these are structures that serve as a display stage to court females. After completing the main structure, they dedicate themselves to the decorating process, carefully arranging the area with decorative objects such as fruits, flowers, bark, and even dead insects, selected for their bright colors and striking shapes, in an effort to impress the females who agree to mate with the male if they approve of the structure he has built. Sociable weaver. Now, leaving courtship rituals aside for a moment, let's talk about a bird that stands out not for its aesthetic beauty, but for the size of its constructions. Popularly known as the sociable weaver, this fascinating bird, found mainly in the arid and semi-arid regions of southern Africa, is famous for building one of the largest and most complex nests in the animal kingdom. These collective nests are built with twigs, grasses, and other plant materials, creating veritable condominiums that can house dozens or even hundreds of individuals. And unlike many birds that build their nests individually, the sociable weaver works in groups, demonstrating an incredible capacity for cooperation. The result of this joint effort is a massive structure, usually positioned on sturdy trees or even power poles. And these nests have several external entrances that lead to individual or communal chambers, protected from predators and adverse weather conditions. But anyone who thinks that the engineering of these constructions is only impressive because of their size is mistaken, as they also stand out for their functionality, with the outside of the nest usually formed by a defensive barrier made up of thorns or dense layers that discourage predators such as snakes. And inside, these chambers are well insulated thermally, so that during the scorching desert days, they can remain cool, while on cold nights, they can provide a warm shelter for the birds. European bee eater. Known for its distinctive appearance with colorful and beautiful plumage, the European bee eater chooses a rather unusual setting for its nest. That's because it builds its nest at the end of a tunnel that can reach up to 2 meters in length, excavated by the pair in the ground or in sandy riverbanks. These birds, like the apostlebird and the sociable weaver we've already shown, are also highly social animals and usually nest in colonies, which provides greater protection against predators. In addition, choosing the ideal construction site is very important, as these birds need to build their homes in an area with soft soil or sand that can be dug into, but that is also strong enough not to collapse. Finally, the tunnel is lined with leaves or insect remains, and inside, between 2 and 6 eggs are laid in each breeding season, and both the male and the female take part in the incubation process. Woodpecker. Now let's talk about the woodpecker, a famous bird featured in a cartoon you probably already know, or at least have heard its laugh at some point. In fact, many people don't know this, but that laugh was actually inspired by the real sound the bird makes in nature. But getting back to the nests, these birds can use cavities in termite mounds and holes in earthen banks as nests. However, most of the time, the place they choose to build their homes is in trees, which they drill using their beaks, a hard and well-adapted structure for boring into wood. These nests are quite elaborate, and in most cases, are built anew each breeding season. The nest's location is strategically chosen to offer protection from predators and harsh weather conditions, and the work woodpeckers put into this building process is immense, considering the number of pecks required to create a hole of the right size in the wood. For this reason, they usually prefer dead trees, which are easier to drill through. Fairy martin. The fairy martin is a small bird found in regions of Australia, known as an excellent flyer that spends much of its time catching insects in mid-air with agility and precision. But in addition to that, another striking feature of this species is its unique nesting behavior. Instead of building nests in trees or natural cavities, it builds mud nests on protected vertical surfaces such as cliffs, caves, and often on human-made structures like bridges and buildings. These nests are shaped like small rounded or semicircular chambers, often also resembling some kind of bottle, and have a narrow entrance, which helps ensure safety from predators and protection from harsh weather. Moreover, these structures are often grouped into colonies, and the pair works together to care for the chicks and build the nest, which can take several days to complete, since these birds must make many trips, carrying small portions of mud in their beaks, and then carefully shape them until a sturdy structure is formed. HAMERKOP. Found across various regions of Africa, especially in wet areas such as swamps, lakes, and riverbanks, the HAMERKOP is a bird with a curious and unmistakable appearance, and one that also happens to be responsible for creating one of the largest and most elaborate nesting structures among birds. That's because the nest of these animals, built cooperatively by the pair, is an enormous structure made of sticks, mud, and other plant materials. It can reach nearly 2 meters in width and weigh more than 50 kilograms, and it features a narrow entrance that leads to a spacious inner chamber where the eggs are laid and the chicks are safely raised. But beyond protecting the chicks and providing a secure environment for egg incubation, this complex HAMERKOP nest often attracts other species of animals, such as snakes, small mammals, and even other birds, which may end up trying to occupy these abandoned structures, since the pair may build more than one nest throughout their lifetime, often constructing 3 to 5 nests per year and eventually leaving some of these former structures unoccupied. Long-tailed tit. With a rounded body and a long, slender tail that can measure almost twice the length of its own body, the long-tailed tit is a small and charming bird found in various regions of Europe and Asia. It stands out for its delicate appearance and beautiful, contrasting plumage in black and white. When it comes to nesting, the construction of the long-tailed tit's nest is among the most impressive of all small birds. The pair builds an oval, enclosed nest made of moss, lichens, spiderwebs, and feathers, forming an elastic structure well camouflaged in shrubs or where tree branches fork. The entrance is usually located at the top of the nest, providing protection from predators and harsh weather. And after completing the main structure, the pair typically lines the inside with hundreds of soft feathers to ensure thermal comfort for the eggs and chicks. Bald eagle. Popularly known for being a symbol of the United States, bald eagles are another species of bird known for building large nests with its extremely sharp eyesight, which can detect prey at great distances, and its powerful talons. The bald eagle is a bird of prey that occupies the top of the food chain and feeds mainly on fish, but can also hunt other animals and make use of carcasses when necessary. When it comes to building nests, the pair of bald eagles choose the site together and usually build them in high places, such as mountains or tall trees, using sticks and twigs for the outside and leaves and other soft materials for the inside. These nests can be reused year after year, constantly being enlarged by the breeding pair, and as more branches and layers are added, this nest can reach majestic and impressive sizes that offer enough space for the female to lay her eggs, incubate them, and look after the young safely. Least grebe. Known for its ability to dive quickly in search of food, the least grebe is a fascinating aquatic bird that, during the breeding season, builds a rather peculiar structure, a floating nest. This nest is bulky, and interestingly, only part of it rises above the water's surface, while the rest remains submerged. Each nest holds small, elongated eggs that undergo an incubation period of about 21 days, and during this time, the parents take turns incubating the eggs, ensuring they are kept at the ideal temperature and protected from predators. Rufous hornero. We've already talked about birds that build very beautiful nests and others that build very large nests. And now we're going to talk about a bird that stands out for building a very sturdy nest, the rufous hornero. This bird, which can be found in various regions of South America, is famous for building sturdy, well-structured nests using mud. And the structure of the nest they build consists of a solid base and thick walls, made using a mixture of mud with plant fibers, grass, hairs, and other additional materials that help give the nest just greater strength. This fantastic nest can take several weeks to complete, and during this time, the couple work tirelessly, transporting small amounts of mud and shaping them with their beaks and feet, the result of which is a durable and very resistant nest that can withstand even harsh climates such as rain and strong winds and still remain intact. Southern Masked Weaver. The southern masked weaver is another fascinating and skilled bird, known for building complex and beautiful nests. As in most of the cases we've seen so far, the males are responsible for building the nests, which are skillfully woven from plant fibers, usually grass or palm leaves. These nests have a spherical or oval shape with a tubular entrance that hangs downward, which helps protect the eggs and chicks from predators and harsh weather conditions. And just like in other cases we've already seen, the construction of this nest serves as a display of skill to attract females, with a well-built nest being seen by the females as a sign of a healthy and capable male, increasing his chances of reproduction. Malleefowl. The malleefowl is a bird species endemic to Australia, about the size of a domestic chicken, and is famous for building a very unusual nest. In winter, this bird selects a location and begins digging a hole in the sandy soil, using its feet to push the dirt backward. After that, it starts collecting organic material such as leaves, twigs, and bark, which it uses to build a mound that will serve as a nest. As this organic material decomposes, it generates enough heat to incubate the eggs. Once hatched, the chicks emerge from the mound fully developed and independent, needing no parental care or protection. From their very first day of life, they are already capable of running, hiding, and, despite their tails not yet having grown, can even fly short distances to escape predators. Hummingbird. With over 300 species found around the world, hummingbirds are well known for their agile flight and their unique ability to hover in midair, beating their wings at impressive speeds, reaching up to 80 beats per second, depending on the species. But beyond that, these tiny birds also stand out for their remarkable nest-building skills and can be considered true masters of natural engineering. And since they hold the title of being the smallest birds in the world, it's no surprise that hummingbird nests are also the smallest nests in the world. Most of the time, the females build small cup-shaped nests, usually made of moss, plant fibers, and spider webs, materials that give the structure enough flexibility to accommodate the growing chicks. An interesting fact is that in addition to being very small, these nests are often well camouflaged on thin branches or sheltered by broad leaves, which offers even more security for the female to incubate the eggs and care for her chicks. Edible nest swiftlet. Now let's talk about nests made by birds that can actually be eaten by humans. That's right, you heard it correctly. We're talking about the nests made by the edible nest swiftlet, a small and agile bird with brownish or dark gray plumage, found in several regions of Southeast Asia, including Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines. This species is notable for its unique nests, which are made in a rather unusual way. Instead of using plant materials like feathers or twigs, like most other birds, it secretes a viscous substance from its salivary glands that hardens upon contact with air, forming a white nest. These nests are highly valued in various cultures, especially in Chinese cuisine, where they are used to make bird's nest soup, considered a delicacy, and are produced in large quantities by these birds, mainly in caves and crevices, where they often form massive colonies alongside other species. Common thornbird. The common thornbird is another bird known for its impressive ability to build complex nests. These nests are made of twigs and other plant materials, which can be found in a variety of habitats. Nest construction is a shared task between the pair, who work together to create a safe and durable home that will be used year-round, not just for breeding, but also as shelter from predators and harsh weather conditions. These nests are usually built in isolated trees, at the tips of flexible branches that bend under the weight of the structure. This is a very important feature, as it provides extra protection by making it harder for predators to reach the nest. Cape penduline tit. We have to admit that up to this point, we've talked about birds responsible for building truly incredible nests with unique sizes, shapes, and special features that make them genuinely impressive. But now, it's time to talk about a bird that would certainly deserve an award for its construction genius. We're talking about the Cape penduline tit, a bird species from Africa that has a very clever strategy when it comes to building its nests, with the primary goal of protecting its eggs and chicks. These smart animals build a globular nest made of spider spiderwebs, and various plant fibers. And this nest has 2 strategic openings. The birds' nests include one real entrance, hidden and used by the parent birds, and another false opening that remains visible and appears to be the main entrance, but actually leads predators like snakes to an empty chamber. Satin bowerbird. Just like the VOGELKOP bowerbird we've already shown, the satin bowerbird is another species known for its unique mating habits and the construction of complex structures to attract females. As you've probably already guessed, it's the males of the species who are responsible for building these fantastic structures, which are meticulously decorated with brightly colored objects, especially blue, in an effort to attract and seduce females. These objects may include natural items like fruits and flowers, and even artificial ones such as bottle caps, pens, or any other brightly colored objects they can find. In addition, selecting the location for building the structure is also a very important step and is done carefully by the male, who looks for a spot that can be easily defended and is appealing to the females. African jacana. Another bird that builds its nest on water, the African jacana. This species inhabits aquatic environments such as ponds, swamps, and riverbanks, preferring areas with abundant aquatic vegetation, and the nests of the African jacana are floating structures built using aquatic plants. These nests are carefully placed among the vegetation to offer protection and stability for the eggs, and each nest holds 4 to 5 eggs, which are incubated for a period of 24 to 26 days. After hatching, African jacana chicks quickly develop the ability to swim and dive, but they still remain under the care of their parents for about 2 months, and they often hide beneath the wings of the adults when they feel threatened, creating the illusion that the bird has many legs. Great hornbill. And to wrap things up, let's talk about the great hornbill, an impressive bird, known for its remarkably distinctive beak, its large size, and especially for its highly unusual nesting style, which involves a truly brilliant and fascinating protection strategy. These birds have a unique and complex reproductive behavior. When the breeding season arrives, the pair carefully selects a hollow in a tree, which they decorate with leaves, grass, and feathers. After that, the female seals herself inside the cavity, using a mixture of mud, feces, and regurgitated food, leaving only a small opening through which the male will feed her during the following months. During this period, the female lays and incubates the eggs and cares for the chicks until they are ready to leave the nest. This nesting method serves as protection against predators, and it's certainly a highly unusual strategy when compared to that of most other birds, isn't it? But what do you think? Which nest did you find the most surprising and fantastic on this list? Let us know in the comments which one impressed you the most, and if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next videos we'll be bringing here. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.